Watching training isn't learning. Learning happens when you capture it, structure it, and make it your own. I want you to make the most of your learning so it actually sticks. And you can use it over and over again and maybe even teach somebody else. And when you're learning something new, especially technology, it can be pretty easy to forget stuff. That's why creating your own manual or notes is so powerful. It's going to turn passive learning into active learning. Hi there, I'm your computer friend Connie, and I've been teaching people how to use technology for many years. Creating learning manuals is something I do all the time. So let me walk you through the steps and the tips and tricks on how to create a learning manual in Microsoft Word. So in this lesson, we are going to create a title page. We're going to create a table of contents. We're going to talk about page breaks. We're going to talk about how to add in headers and footers and page numbers. So let's get right into it. I'm showing you a finished manual with the title page and the table of contents, headers and footers, page numbers, and screenshots, and of course, different steps or bullet points. This is a short lesson taken from one of my courses, one of the many lessons that I have on OneNote, but you can see that these learning notes are only 5 pages long. Here's that same information, and you see that it actually is 3 pages long. But once we add in the table of contents and the title page and all of our print screens, it's going to take up a bit more space. So let's start with adding in the content we want, and then we'll make it look better and add in all those other components. So there are a few ways to add in a print screen. I actually use a separate program for this, but I'm going to give you the Windows version of how to do a print screen. But as long as you have Microsoft Windows 11, then these shortcuts should work for you. You'll see a print screen button on your keyboard somewhere at the top of your keys, and you're going to need to know where that is because we're going to use it in conjunction with some other buttons. The first keyboard shortcut for print screen is Windows print screen. So holding the Windows button down and then hitting the print screen button doesn't seem to do anything. It took a snapshot of your screen. And in my case, I have 2 actual screens on my computer. So you're going to see that snapshot in a second because you don't see the snapshot of that print screen until you paste. So we are going to paste that print screen in our document. So I'm just going to go to a blank line in my document here, and I'll make it a little bit bigger this time. I just zoomed in on my document by using the zoom scroll at the bottom right of Word. And so I'm just clicked on this blank line over here. And because I already did the print screen, so that was Windows and print screen, all I need to do now is paste. So I can right click and choose paste, or I could go Control V or use the toolbar as well. So let's just choose paste, and you'll see it's giving me 2 windows because I do have 2 windows. So you're seeing this window that we're looking at, which is this one right here. And then we're seeing the window that has OneNote on it, which is what this one is here. So I can certainly change the look of this print screen. Let me just make this a bit bigger. And if I don't want those 2 windows, but I want an entire window, then what I could do is go to my picture format menu at the top. And from picture format, I can choose crop. And as soon as I do that, I get these little handles all around my image. And I'm just going to get rid of the image here. And let's just say I want to look at just that OneNote screen itself. And then once I have the handles around the screen or the part of the print screen that I want to keep, I can then just click on crop again, and it changes my image. So now I can take my mouse, and on the bottom corner of it, I get a 2-headed arrow. I'm just going to make this image a bit bigger. So that way it's easy for me to see it. And I like to take these images that I'm print screening and actually go to the picture format menu and pick one of these picture styles. My favorite one is this one with a little bit of shading in the background, but you might like one of these that has a frame around it. Whatever one you choose is fine. Now, because I've made this picture really take up the full width of my page, my text is going above it or underneath it, so I don't have to worry about wrapping yet. We'll talk about wrapping in a little bit. Now, that was print screen and the entire screen. Maybe I don't really want the entire screen. I want to just capture maybe the item I'm talking about. So here I'm saying how to use recent edits, and I'm telling the reader how to go through the steps of this. And so I'm going to do those steps in OneNote and do a print screen of me at a particular step. So I'd like to capture this screen in my manual so that the reader can see that this is where recent edits is. So rather than the full print screen, I want to just have an image that just captures this part of the screen, a smaller portion of the screen. So to do that, you hold down the Windows key, hold down the Shift key, and then hit the letter S. And it should change to kind of look like my screen. Everything's kind of grayed out. I have a new toolbar at the top there. I have a little plus sign on my screen. And so now what I'm going to to do is with that plus sign, I'm going to move to the top corner of what I want to grab and snip out of my image. So I'm going to just go above my menu and I'm just going to start dragging over this drop down. And you see how it's kind of snipping that area? And I'm going to let go. And as soon as I let go of that bottom corner, it's actually grabbed that image for me. So now I'm going to go into Word and paste that image in there. So I'm going to create a blank space here, and I want the image to go in here. So I'm just going to right click and paste, and there is that screenshot. So I'm going to go to my picture format menu, put that shading behind it, and now it's moved it to a different page than where I have those instructions. So what I can do is I can just make that picture smaller. I'm going to zoom out a bit. And so I want to put this picture beside the instructions here. So what I can do is with my four-headed arrow, click and drag to move that beside. And it's kind of not quite where I want it, so I can just drag it over a bit. It's still not cooperating, so I need to look at what's called the wrap text feature. And so that's this little icon here, as well as this icon on my picture format toolbar. So if I go to wrap text, I'm going to say square or tight. Tight just means rather than making a square around my picture, go as tight to the text as you possibly can. So let's do that. And now I'm going to move it over. And as I move it to the right, you see the text is kind of fixing itself a bit. That looks pretty good. So now I can fit it on that same page. Now let's say I want to create another picture in my manual, and this time kind of show more of the screen and then point to the area that I'm referring to in my notes. So I'm going to bring the OneNote onto our screen, and I just have it a little bit smaller. I'm going to make it a bit smaller because I don't really need to see the whole thing. And really in my notes, I'm talking about this section here where it says search results, and it has the ability for me to sort in certain ways. So I'm talking about that in my notes, and I want to capture this information. So what I can do is I can capture the entire window, the active window that's in front here, rather than my entire screen, just the window for OneNote. And to do that, I'm just going to hold the Alt key down while I hit the print screen button. So Alt, hold it down, hit the print screen button. So Alt print screen will take a picture or create a screenshot of whatever window you have actively open in front. Okay, I've already done it, so I'm going to minimize this now. And I want this to go underneath where I'm talking about sorting. So I'm just going to hit enter a couple times actually. And I'm going to do that paste again. And there it is, just that one window, even though you saw that I had the word window behind. Just made it a bit smaller so I could fit. And I want to point to this area here. So I'm going to go to my insert toolbar in Word and go to shapes and choose a square. And I'm just going to draw a square over that area, and it fills it in. It fills in that whole square, which is fine. I'm going to fix that. So I'm going to go to shape fill and say, I don't want any fill. So now it's not filled in anymore, but I have a shape around that area. And my shape outline, I'm going to make it really bright, and I'm going to use that red color. And I'm going to go back to shape outline again and say weight, and let's make it a bit thicker. There. So it's pretty obvious we're talking about that area of the screen. Now, because I'm clicked on this square, I have a shape format menu available to me that's helping me with this particular shape. I'm just going to click off of it, and I'm going to go back to insert and shapes, and I'm going to choose the arrow this time. So it's creating a little arrow for me. So again, I want to go to my shape outline and make that red, go back to shape outline and go to weight and make that as thick as I can. And so if I make it a bit bigger, I might see that. Okay, I'm going to click on this shape and maybe make it a bit smaller there. And actually I want to point to the fact, let's just move that a bit. I'm going to point to, maybe I'll make my arrow a bit different color. If I want to kind of point to what menu I'm in right here, let's go there, shape outline. Let's make the arrow, sure, a blue might make it a good contrast. Okay, so we've added a screenshot. We've added some shapes on top to really show what we're referring to. Now I'm going to go back to my OneNote again, and I'm going to grab that image of the side panel for this explanation here. But what I'm going to do is I want that side panel to be right beside where I'm talking about it. So let's grab the OneNote, and I'm going to use the snipping tool, which is Windows, Shift, and S. And now I'm just going to grab this side panel here. And nothing happens, so I'm going to go and click on an empty space here in my notes and paste. And there's that side panel. Now I'm going to zoom out so you can see where it is. So it didn't put it on the page where I wanted it. Let's zoom out a bit so we can see what we're doing. So we can make it smaller, again, grabbing from that corner, and then we can always make it bigger after. So I moved it to that page there. And of course, it's not lining up properly. So what do I need to do? I need to go into this guy here for the layout and say that I want to go tight, and then I want to drag it over. Now, you might find that when you're editing your manual, you have some more changes to make, that the images move around on you a bit. And if you don't want that to happen, if you want to make sure that that image always stays with that text, then a good trick to doing that is put the image and the text in a table. So I'm going to do that with this example here. So I'm going to create a table just above where this information is. So I'll go to the Insert menu, and then Table, and I just really want a 2-column table. And now I'm going to start with the image, and I'm going to cut the image out of here. So right-click, Cut, and I'm going to paste it on that right side there. So that image goes into that cell of the table. And now my text here, click on the top of it, Shift-click on the end of it, and cut, and go into my table, and paste. And maybe I need to do a little bit of a fix up here, maybe leave an extra space. I can make this image a bit bigger, or you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this search results image. I don't need it to be that long because they get the gist of what it's about. I'm going to crop it a bit so it's not so big. Okay, and then I can make it maybe a bit bigger just so it's easier to read. And I want to put my shading on it there, and it fits nicer. Now I don't want these lines around this text and this picture. So I clicked on the top corner 4-headed arrow there. It selected everything, my entire table. And now I see table design and table layout in my toolbar, which I saw before, but what's different here is I'm saying the entire table as opposed to one cell of the table. So make sure you select the whole thing. So table design, I'm going to go to where it says borders, and I'm going to say no border, inside or out. So now that there's no border, we know there's a table there, but nobody else can really tell there's a table there. And what'll happen is these two items, this text and this picture, will always stay together because it's saved in a table. So that's what makes it very different than just wrapping the text beside an image. Okay, so we've got a good start on getting that manual in place with the text and the images. Having an image in a manual is really helpful because it really helps that reader understand what you're talking about. A picture's worth 1,000 words, so it's faster learning for everyone involved. So now I want to get ready to structure my manual in such a way that it's easy for me to create a table of contents. And so the way to create a table of contents with Microsoft Word is to use the styles. So the styles area has different headings available to you. You can modify the look of those headings, but those headings are tied to a table of contents. So if you notice in my style menu, I have heading, heading 2, and heading 3. I'm going to use these 3 headings in my notes, and you're going to see how this is going to translate into a table of contents that works well for me. To get those headings in place, I'm just going to click on my first title and go to the heading that I want. So I'll say that's the main heading. And then I'll say understanding recent edits. That's a subheading. So heading 2. So as you can see, I'm not selecting anything. Heading styles assume it's the full line. Whatever the line is, it's looking for that hard return. Wherever you've hit enter on that line is when it stops that look of the style. Okay, and we'll say how to use recent edits. That's heading 3. Adjust the search scope. We'll say that's heading 2. Sorting and organizing. We'll say that's heading 1. Oh, look what happened. So see how when you change some things, your graphics might change a bit. And so maybe my order should have been, I put the headings in place first, and then I create my images. Because what's happening here is these drawings are not attached to this image. So I'm going to take these drawings, move them over. Okay, I've selected my drawings, and there is a group feature available to me, but it unfortunately doesn't group my image with my shapes. And so the best way to have all 3 of these together is to have this whole thing in a table. And so let's do that. So I'm going to click on a blank line there, go to my table, pick a 1-cell table, and that's totally fine. And I'm going to select that image, cut it, click in the cell of my table, paste it in there, and then take these drawings and move them. Okay, so I'm going to select that table, go to table design, borders, and make sure it says no borders. So now I've added in a bunch more text. It moved that whole thing to the next page because it's saved within a table. Let's undo that. Okay, before we create our table of contents, let's look at how our document is arranged and see if we want to force anything to another page or make sure certain lines don't split across pages when they should be together. So here's an example. We have this instruction here, and then we have a line that's gone to the next page. So if we don't want that to happen, what we need to do is select the whole area that we want together. So I'm going to select adjust the search scope, so that heading, and then I'm going to shift click right to the line that I want to have with it. And from my home ribbon and where it says paragraph, I'm going to go to the little arrow, which goes into paragraph settings for me. And from here, I'm going to go to line and page breaks and choose keep with next. And also I like to say keep lines together. So those two check mark. So I'll choose OK. Now this area doesn't break onto two separate pages. Now sorting and organizing changes is kind of a new topic in these notes, so I don't really want it separated from the picture. So what I can do is force a page break here. And so to force a page break, we're going Control Enter, and then we're starting a new page. All right, the next thing we're going to do is add in the page numbers. So to do that, I'm going to go back up to the top of my document. So Control Home. And from the insert menu, we're going to go to page number, and I'm going to say bottom of page, and I can choose one of the styles that are here. Say with this one, I like that one. So I'm going to close. Actually, rather than closing this area, let's just go using this header and footer toolbar. I'm going to go to the header, and now I'm going to just type in the name of this document. And there's a lot more that I can put here, but you get the idea. So I'm going to close this. And now as I go through here, you'll see that I have that on every page. Control Home. Now let's add in the cover page, because that will be the first page of our document. And then we're going to add in another page for our table of contents. So to add in our cover page, we're going to simply go to Insert again and Cover Page. And there's a number of styles that Microsoft gives us. So you pick the one that you like. Scroll down. There's a lot to choose from here. There's even more available online for you. Okay, so I have the style that I like. It has some information in brackets, so I can click on that information like here and type in what it is. So pretty fast to get that cover page. So now let's do our table of contents. After the cover page, I'm just clicking at the very beginning of my text. And so right before that first title, I want to hit Control Enter to force a page to have available for me for that table of contents. Control Enter, and I'll scroll up to that blank page. So on that blank page, I'm going to go to the References toolbar, and from References toolbar, the table of contents. You have a few different styles available to you. I'm just going to pick the first one there, and you can see how it's finding the titles that I have created with those styles from the style menu, and it's giving me the page numbers for each of these things. So if I Control Enter on one of these things, it takes me right to that page. Now your notes might change from time to time where you'll have more lessons to add in there. You might be changing some of the text or some of the screenshots. So these page numbers are going to change. So let's just do something that makes these page numbers change. I'll just go to the key takeaways page. I'm going to force that key takeaways from page 6 to be on page 7. So Control Enter. So now that's on page 7. And you see my table of contents did not change. So I'm going to click on it and choose Update Table and Update Entire Table. And now it says Key Takeaways is page 7. So now it's up to you to go out and create those manuals that have the table of contents, the cover page, those screenshots, and everything built in. So it's a step-by-step reference that is helpful for you. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.